Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture series. In this video, I will talk about polar form of complex numbers.
As you can recall that in two-dimensional calculus we transform rectangular coordinates and described the polar coordinate system. Now the polar coordinate system consists of a point O which we call pole and the horizontal line originating from pole which we call the polar axis. So any point P can be described in terms of r theta, where r is the distance from the origin and theta is the angle with the polar axis. So if r is the directed distance from the pole to P and theta is angle of inclination measured in radians from the polar axis to the line OP, then the ordered pair r theta is called the polar coordinate of P. So if we superimpose this polar coordinate system on the uh, Cartesian coordinates, where Cartesian coordinate means the x-axis, the real axis, and the y-axis, the imaginary axis, with their point of intersection 0 is superimposed with the pole O, and the horizontal x-axis is superimposed with the polar axis, then any point P which is r theta in polar coordinates and xy in Cartesian coordinates can be defined by the relation that x, which is the horizontal distance, is actually the base by hypotenuse is cosine of theta, so x becomes r cos theta, and the perpendicular distance, which is y divided by the hypotenuse r, is sine theta, so y becomes r sine theta. So the Cartesian coordinates x and y are related to polar coordinates r theta by the relation x equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta. Now, because z is a complex number is of the form x plus iy, so we can utilize this, and z will become r cosine theta plus I r sine theta, right? So r goes out, and the inside the bracket is cosine theta plus I sine theta, which by Euler's formula becomes e power I theta. So z equals r e raised to power I theta, which is the polar form of complex number z. So we have taken r to be the distance from the pole to the point. So r, we can say, is never negative, so the r can be taken as the modulus of z, okay, because if we take the modulus here, then the modulus on the right side is modulus of r e raised to power I theta. R is non-negative, goes outside, and e raised to power I theta modulus is 1, okay, so r equals modulus of z. The theta is the angle of inclination which is measured from the polar axis to the line OP, and it is taken as positive if the angle is measured anti-clockwise, and the angle is taken as negative if it is measured clockwise. The angle theta is called the argument of z, and it is denoted by arg z. The argument of z, the theta, must satisfy two equations. One, that x equals r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta. So cos theta is x by r and sin theta is y by r. The argument of complex number is not unique because the cosine of theta and sine of theta are periodic with 2 pi period. That is, any angle theta naught is necessarily the angle theta naught plus minus 2 pi, theta naught plus minus 4 pi, and so on. Okay, That means if you have any point, say I is the point, okay, the angle is 90 degree, then this point is also the whole circle plus pi by 2, okay, 2 pi plus pi by 2. Similarly, it is 2 rounds plus pi by 2, so it is 4 pi plus pi by 2, okay. Or it can be clockwise up to here, which is minus of 3 pi by 2, and similarly a full round clockwise and then up to here, so 2 pi minus 2 pi minus 3 pi by 2. So the angle is not unique, right? So the symbol argument z actually represents a set of values, okay, but the argument theta of complex number that lies between minus pi to plus pi is called the principal value of argument z, or the principal argument of z, and we'll denote it by argument z with a capital letter, okay. So when we say argument z with a capital letter, means we are saying theta lies between minus pi to pi, and when we say arg z in this for small a, then theta can be some theta naught plus minus 2 pi plus minus 4 pi and so on, okay. So they are not unique, infinite values. De Moivre's formula, okay, when z is cos theta plus I sin theta, then we have that cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n can be written as cos n theta plus I sin n theta. This is the famous De Moivre's formula, and this can be used to derive trigonometric identities involving cos n theta, sin n theta, and this can also be now used to calculate different powers of complex numbers, okay. So z power n is this whole power n, and that is equal to this, so we know this value immediately. Z power n values are known, okay. So say for example, if we have to calculate or solve this complex number power 3, then we know this is x root 3 by 2, this is y 1 by 2. So if we transform this to polar coordinate and then use this formula, De Moivre's formula, then immediately the result is known, okay. So what we have to do is substitute the x root 3 by 2 as r cos theta, and y, which is half, as r sin theta, okay. So root 3 by 2 as r cos theta, root 1 by 2 as r sin theta. Solve these two equations to find r and theta, okay. So squaring and adding, so this square plus this square is r square, so r is immediately calculated as 1, r is to be calculated positive, okay. And then if r is 1, we substitute back cos theta is root 3 by 2, sin theta is half, so those two equation immediately says that theta is pi by 6. So now use this substitution here, okay. Root 3 by 2 is r cos theta, this is r sin theta, put values and then use De Moivre's formula. So this converts to cos 3 theta plus I sin 3 theta on using this De Moivre's. Theta is pi by 6, substitute. So we found cos 90 is 0, sin 91, so it immediately gives I, okay. So this complex number whole cube is nothing but the I, that means root of minus 1.
So this was about polar form of complex numbers. In the next video, I will talk about roots of complex numbers.